Hello everybody, thanks for joining me for a video. Sorry it's been so long in between, but today I thought we would go for a bit of a drive. Pam and I recently purchased a car. It's a little, it's called a Perodua Myvi. It's just a little tiny commuter car. It's a 2007, so it's got a few years and a few kilometers on it. But so far it's worked pretty good for us, and we are feeling not too bad about driving in Malaysia. So let's have a look. Alright, so here we're going for a drive down to a shopping center, get some groceries. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and or Facebook. This is just our underground parking at the building where we live. We park on the first underground parking level. There are 2 underground parking levels, as well as one there's parking around the outside of the building on top as well. All of it's enclosed within a security fence, so we need to go through a security gate to get out. That is triggered by a little fob that we have in the car. Wave it and it opens for us. So here we are pulling out onto the road, and you'll notice that we are driving on the left side of the road. That is due in large part to the fact that lots of Malaysia was once a British colony, and so remnants of that history are all over the place in Malaysia, and one of those remnants is they drive on the left-hand side of the road. So we have learned to drive on the left-hand side of the road as well. I wouldn't say that we are the best at it yet. We're not totally comfortable all the time, and we do occasionally make a few small mistakes, such as hitting the windshield wipers when we need to hit the signal light, and less frequently, and fortunately without any consequences yet, we will occasionally forget which side of the road we should be driving on, and we will drive on the right hand side very briefly until the other one of us who isn't driving will remind the driver that we're on the wrong side of the road. Like I say, fortunately it hasn't resulted in any mishaps yet, and I think we're getting pretty good at driving here so that we haven't had too many, like I say, haven't had any mishaps, and even it's not happening that often, which is kind of remarkable to me. We've lived our whole lives driving on the other side of the road, doing things very differently driving, and we're adapting all right. Because it's not just driving on the left-hand side of the road that is different here. Just the way people act on the road is very different. We haven't quite figured out all the rules yet. You'll notice that there are lanes here like we're used to in Canada. But those lanes here appear to be just suggestions. Cars will move from one lane to the other frequently, or even drive in between lanes without any worry. And you may have noticed we posted a picture the other day. There was we went to night market the other day, and because it was so busy, all the side street parking was taken. So people just start parking in the middle of the road. There's enough room on either side, so there's still a lane on either side of the cars parked there, but people just park wherever you can. It's just the way it goes. And you'll also notice points along this road, which is the main road that goes around the island of Penang, and there'll be cars just parked along the side sometimes, so where you'll have 2 or 3 lanes, you'll always have just 2 or 1 lanes because of cars in the way. So just coming up on our left here right now, this is Dalat School. That's where Pam teaches. So it's not a very far drive from home, and this is where she would pull in to park. They have a separate parking lot for teachers, just because there isn't a lot of parking space right in the school area proper. You also notice that there are meridians along most of the way here. So in order to get home, even though we want to turn right, we have to turn left, come up a couple blocks, do a U-turn, and go back to get home. And on your right here, you'll notice the red and white stripes painted on the concrete wall here that separates the upper part of the road from the lower. And this is actually what used to be known as the world's longest flag. See, there's the symbol for the Malaysian flag. It used to be the world's longest flag. That honor, I believe, has been taken away by a place in India, but it used to be the longest flag. So that's kind of an interesting use of what could otherwise be just a boring slab of concrete. Just on our left here, we're going past Tanjung Point Hotel, and that's where our church meets, Global Harvest Assembly. That's the church we're attending, and they right now just meet in a hotel conference room up on the 8th floor. It's a little different, and with things opening up here more after COVID stuff, it's getting a little more crowded in there as people are starting to come out again, but it's been a really enjoyable experience for us so far. You'll notice throughout our drive here, there have been motorbikes just zipping around us left and right and whatnot. Motorbikes are a very interesting animal on Malaysian roads in that they just do what they want. They cut in and out of traffic, weave in and out of traffic. From what I've been told and led to understand, they have the right of way. Even if they're doing something inexplicable and dangerous and possibly wrong, they're right. I don't understand it, but that's the way of it. So we're learning to deal with those and watch out for motorcycles and do our best. And we've never hit any yet, so that's good. All right, now we're pulling into Lotus's. This is a shopping complex. There's a food court on the main floor, and then some shopping on the upper 2 levels, including on the 3rd floor is where Lotus is. That's it's a discount grocery store that we shop at a lot. It's one of the closest ones to us, so it's convenient that way, and they've got some really good prices on things. But we've also learned that shopping here, you can't just pick a grocery store and get everything you need there. If you're looking for specific particular things, sometimes you may need to travel to a different grocery store because the one that you go to, such as Lotus's, they tend not to have a lot of Western style foods in them. So if you want some more specialty type items, Western style foods or whatever, we'll have to go to some of the other grocery stores that we've discovered. So that's an interesting experience too. Plus you'll go in sometimes and you'll discover that even though they have a particular item, oftentimes they don't have any today. And that happens very regularly here, where they'll just be out of an item that you were looking for in the grocery store. It's just the way that they do things. It's not, I don't know why it is. It's a different mindset to a certain degree, but it works for them. So we're learning to adapt, and we don't go in shopping with a concrete shopping list. You go in and you make sure you're flexible. You're ready to either shop in a few different stores, or you just are able to do without certain items, or plan to come back on another day. So this is a Saturday that we're going shopping, and Saturday afternoon, and so it's quite busy here at Lotus's. Having some trouble finding a parking spot in the main parking area underground, or covered. But there is above us, there's another parking area that is much less used we've found so far. So we'll head up there to find our parking. But yeah, we've noticed too that things, like most of the stores here won't open until 10 o'clock. But then things really get rocking around here after like 6 at night. That's when people are going out. And I don't just mean like people going out for a good time in the evening or anything like that. Like we'll come here maybe in the evening, and there'll be families with their kids going shopping. Young kids, and maybe after 8, kids are still with them. The kids will be in their pajamas already. But that's what they do. So it's very much more, they tend not to get going as early in the day for shopping and things like that. And they also, evening, when things cool down a little bit, that's when they like to go and do a lot of their shopping, it seems. So that was our experience driving from our house to the grocery store. I hope that it was somewhat informative for you, enjoyable. And next time, it'll be a little shorter video. I'm going to talk about there's an election coming up here in Malaysia on the 19th of November. And so I've been doing a little bit of digging, trying to find out, well, what does it all work like here? What's different from home and what's the same? And so we'll talk about that a little bit next time. So hopefully I'll have that up early next week before the election happens here. But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.